Good evening and welcome to the main news coming to you live from our Pocket Hill studios. I am Tadiro Manamiki.
A very good evening. I am Irene Nyarambi. Susan Masona is at the sign language desk. Let's take a look at our top stories.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa honors women across sectors at the Women Excellence Awards held in Harare this Friday.
Zimbabwe launches neuromodulation services, a huge milestone introducing advanced brain stimulation procedures. And in sport, Lady Chevrons to host South Africa in landmark T20I series in September. Those are the headlines. It's now time to take a look at the news in detail. We start off with our top story. Now, the President, Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, has thanked Zimbabwean women trailblazers in various sectors, saying their contribution to national development is beyond measure. He said this at the inaugural Zimbabwe Women Excellence Awards held at a State House in Harare this Friday. Our chief correspondent, Ruben Barwe, gives us that report.
The girl child in this country is scoring a lot of firsts. The President, Comrade Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, presided over a ceremony where they were recognizing women who have achieved a lot. You talk of the public sector, the private sector, in the health sector, in many sectors. He underscored the role played by Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, the First Lady of the Republic, saying what she has done has transformed lives.
May I therefore begin by acknowledging and commending the outstanding work of the First Lady, Mnangagwa, Dr. A. Mnangagwa, whose humanitarian and philanthropic initiatives are transforming lives across the nation. Through the Angel of Hope Foundation, the First Lady is spearheading the implementation of rehabilitation and the wellness programs towards addressing the drug and substance abuse menace in our country. In Chirezi, Masingo Province, Chambuta Children's Home is providing care for the orphans and the vulnerable children. Her efforts in the health delivery system have supported the establishment of a nursing school under the private-public partnership model. Her passion for social welfare has brought dignity and support to the elderly, persons with disabilities, child-headed families, and disadvantaged communities. In the area of culture and heritage preservation, the First Lady's work to promote Zimbabwean identity, indigenous knowledge systems, and traditional gastronomy is applauded. Her efforts in promoting environmental conservation, agriculture, tourism, and community empowerment are complementing government's developmental agenda and inspiring women across all sectors to become agents of transformation and progress. Again, Makoro Koto.
The First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, thanked the Second Republic and the President in particular for creating an enabling environment for the girl child to thrive.
I extend my highest gratitude to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, whose visionary leadership and introduction of public sector performance benchmarking continue to propel our nation towards the attainment of Vision 2030 and the realization of an upper middle income society, while ensuring that no place and no one is left behind. Inspired by this national vision, I have taken it upon myself, through the Angel of Hope Foundation, to contribute towards uplifting vulnerable children, empowering women, and supporting communities in need. This award, therefore, does not belong to me alone. It belongs to every vulnerable child, every hardworking woman, and every community partner who continues to walk this transformative journey with us. Our efforts through the Angel of Hope Foundation are explicitly designed to align with the government's economic and social transformation agendas. As we navigate the transitional milestones of our national development policies, community uplifting remains a collective duty. True national development cannot be realized if our most vulnerable citizens are left behind.
President Mnangagwa also spoke about those young people during the struggle who participated shoulder by shoulder with their male counterparts. You are talking of the current Minister of Defense and National Chairman of ZANU-PF, Comrade Opam Chinguri Kashiri.
They remained brave, steadfast, and committed despite the perilous conditions and brutality of the racist Smith regime. Vanosanganisa sana chisikana icho chiopa zvipange Chinguri Kashiri. Under the Second Republic, I saw it befitting to appoint her the first woman national chairman of our ruling party, ZANU-PF, and the first woman minister of defense.
There is a new generation of performers. You are talking of Comrade Barbara Rhodzi in charge of tourism and the hospitality industry. What she has managed to achieve is recommended.
There is equally a new breed of female political leaders in my administration, in the mold of the Minister of Tourism and the hospitality industry. His stewardship over the tourism sector has helped to reposition brand Zimbabwe and raise the sector as one of the key drivers of economic growth and sustainable development. Makorokoto.
The president said, agriculture has its own heroes, and especially agriculture is key to Zimbabwe's growth. And a lot is happening in that sector. And 70% of the people in agriculture are women.
Agriculture is the mainstay of our economy, with approximately 61% of farmers being women, and providing 70% of agricultural labor. Thus, the work of women farmers is essential for food security. I recognize the work of all women farmers, and of note among us is Dr. Ndukula, a prominent farmer, an entrepreneur who is also a war veteran.
So today's ceremony at State House, so who is who in the women folk of this country? Those who have achieved and made a mark. Ruben Barquez, ZBC News, State House, Harare.
Continuing with the same story, 22 women have been celebrated for their work in the country's socio-economic development across different sectors, representing millions of women who are creating homes and raising children who respect the rule of law and driving Zimbabwe's development ambitions.
As Zimbabwe accelerates towards the attainment of Vision 2030, the role that women play in Zimbabwe remains critical. From boardrooms to businesses to community development initiatives, as well as national political platforms, women in Zimbabwe are leading the way. The awards ceremony held here at State House this Friday were a reflection of the view that the women in Zimbabwe are a key cog in Zimbabwe's national political, socio-economic development. The first ZANU-PF chairman, as well as the Minister of Defense, Honorable Opamuchinguri Kashiri, was celebrated for her role from Zimbabwe's struggle to independence and current Zimbabwe. She says, Zimbabwe is a land that honors its past and charts the way forward. As such, women continue to pave the way for her development.
This ceremony, the first of its kind in our history, is taking place coming 46 years after our independence. Reflecting your commitment and dedication to women empowerment in all spheres of life, both economically, politically, and socially. You are giving us dignity, confidence, and pride, Your Excellency.
Other women celebrated here include the Minister of Tourism and Hospitality Industry, Honorable Barbara Rhodzi, the first female Air Commodore Ellen Chiweshe, the first female Prosecutor General Justice Lois Matanda Moyo, as well as the first female Captain Chipo Matimba. These women celebrate this honor that was bestowed upon them by the President, Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa.
Being happy and honored, as you just said, by the leader of the country, His Excellency, a man who respects women and a man who has so much zeal and support for the women, a man who wishes women can excel in whatever that they are good at. He let us dream and let us go with what we dream about and open the door for any woman who has ability and capacity to do anything. So let me give my gratitude to him and more so to the First Lady, who is the patron of the ministry that I'm leading. Many strategies and what we do in the ministry is led by Her Excellency. So I wouldn't be Cabinet Minister #1 without the ideas and the direction and guidance that we get from our patron of tourism and hospitality industry, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa.
Today we celebrate the criminal justice delivery system, which is improving on a daily basis, and we hope that we will be improving going forward. We have not reached the mark yet, so we will still persevere and ensure that we provide a safe environment for all the citizens of Zimbabwe.
Ndonzwa manyukunyuku nekufara kuti ndarecognizwa kuve the first air commodore in the Air Force and also being the first base commander mu-Air Force. Ndinonzwa kufara kwandiri kuita, ndinodawo kutenda madzishe angu ari kurecognize kusenza kwandinoita, and also ndichidawo kutiwo kune vari kumashure kwangu madzimai, it is possible.
Oh, I'm feeling very elated. You know, this award is really special, given that it's a recognition of all the years that we've put into aviation. And after so many years in aviation, so many other women have followed the trail that we set. And you can see that there's a huge percentage now of women taking up aviation in several posts, besides just flying, but also in management and in other sectors of aviation.
Tinofara and ndikunyanya kufara kuti president wari kutidaira semadzimai zvatiri kutarisirawo.
So as women celebrate, as Zimbabwe celebrate, as it journeys towards an inclusive upper middle income society, celebrations here at State House are reflective of the commitment that women in various sectors continue to play, from those leading the political platform, from those leading the justice delivery platform, from those in the business sector, and the ordinary woman raising children, creating homes, have been celebrated. Olina Ndori, ZBC News, State House.
in other news, there are growing calls for a holistic and multi-stakeholder approach to combat a devastating surge of road traffic accidents that continue to claim lives across the country. Let's get that report from John Nandara.
The interventions come in the wake of an increasing number of accidents, with the latest being a horrific 5-day period in which 24 people perished in 3 major separate road crashes, plunging the nation into mourning and sparking widespread public outcry over highway safety. Government says it is now putting in place measures of ensuring a paradigm shift in driver attitude and stricter compliance with traffic regulations.
My drivers edu anofanira kuti ose, whether ndewe kombi, whether ndewe bus, ndewe lorry, anodriver ma PSV must go through defensive driving. Vanofanira kuenda kunodzidziswa zvine chekuita nemumugwagwa.
Vachairi vatinawo vamwe vacho vakawanda especially kumatikata semacombs drivers vanonyanya kudriver vakanwa zvatisingaona soni kwakanwa.
Mwacho anosvikira vakadhakwa. Vanhu vari kuwanza tunhu tunodhaka. Ukada kuona munhu ari kumwa like tudoro tumwe turi dangerous.
Stakeholders such as the Zimbabwe Passenger Transport Organization have called on stricter adherence to speed limits.
Madriver edu ndatedzere mitemo yatiri kuapa. Speed hatisi kuida. Plus isusu tiri kushanda pamwe chete nemapurisa neVID. Vanhu ava ndavasungwe.
Government says it is now putting in place measures of ensuring a paradigm shift in driver attitude and a stricter compliance with traffic regulations.
We've got Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe, which superintends over issues to do with safety awareness. And above that, we are actually seized as we speak, where we are drafting the road accident fund bill to make sure that not only focusing on the accidents, but we're also looking at the post-crash. What is important is that we are collaborating the whole of government approach, where we are working with the Ministry of Home Affairs, and if you have seen within the great city, where they've already started installing cameras, especially on our intersections. So this is going to also help those the offenders will be accounted for.
Meanwhile, the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe has also shifted its attention on protecting pedestrians, putting in place more pedestrian road crossing points on the roads.
Vanofamba netsoka vaakurohwa nemota mumigwagwa yedu. Saka takaona kuti zvakanaka kuti tivandudze nzvimbo dzemapedestrian crossings dzinova ndidzo nzvimbo dzatinenge tichitarisira kuti vanhu vachipfuura nepo.
The President, Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, has since directed government departments and agencies involved in ensuring road safety to act with urgency and great coordination so that road carnage can be stopped. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
Meanwhile, Zimbabwe's health sector has marked another major milestone with the official launch of the neuromodulation services, introducing advanced brain stimulation procedures that were previously not available in the country.
The launch of the Neuromodulation Arise program in Harare marks a major breakthrough for Zimbabwe's healthcare sector, placing the country among a select few African countries now offering advanced brain stimulation procedures for conditions such as Parkinson's disease, epilepsy, and chronic pain.
The government of Zimbabwe has been clear and consistent in its vision that no Zimbabwe should be left behind, and that the highest standards of modern networking should not be repressive of those who can afford to seek it beyond our borders. Our guiding philosophy is that quality healthcare is a right and not a privilege.
Lead coordinator of the Neuromodulation Joint Working Group under the China-Africa Hospital Alliance, Mr. Liu Chong, says the partnership with Zimbabwe reflects a shared commitment to strengthening specialized healthcare services.
The main goal is try to have a more concrete collaboration with the Africa healthcare, not only for the hospital, but also a multi-angle, including industry, technology, standards,
Specialists in neurological sciences say the program will transform treatment options for patients suffering from conditions that previously had limited local intervention pathways.
We're trying through government and through the Chinese to make it cheaper and affordable for government patients, because our main thrust at the end of it is that every Zimbabwe, whether in government, whether in private, you have access to this treatment and care.
In these conditions, implantation of little gadgets is done to help to do what's called modulation, to alter sequences. It's also used for the treatment of conditions like epilepsy, whereby for someone who's got seizures which are not responding to treatment, when an electrode is implanted, it can help in preventing seizures.
Authorities say plans are already underway to expand neuromodulation services into the public health sector, with Paranyatwa Group of Hospitals expected to become one of the key centers offering the specialized procedures. As Zimbabwe pushes ahead with health sector modernization under Vision 2030, the launch is being viewed as another bold step towards bringing advanced life-changing treatment closer to home. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
Agriculture ministers from the Southern African Development Community have signed an ambitious 18-point agreement designed to shield the region from a convergence of severe climate shocks, soaring cross-border animal disease outbreaks, and volatile global supply chains. Now, the joint ministerial meeting caps days of intense negotiations, which started on Wednesday, with senior agricultural officials drafting the roadmap adopted by ministers this Friday.
For hours, SADC ministers responsible for agriculture, food security and the blue economy locked themselves behind these doors, where they were confronting a growing list of interconnected threats facing the region, and these include, but are not limited to, the escalating food insecurity, which is estimated to be affecting 58 million people in the region. And on top of the agenda was the issue of the looming El Nino-induced drought conditions and the issue of the livestock disease outbreaks, such as the foot and mouth, were also being discussed, as this affects trade and food systems. But rather than just coming out from this meeting with another declaration of concern, the ministers emerged from this meeting with what they describe as a concrete regional 18 action point plan that is aimed at transforming Southern Africa's agricultural resilience.
There were 18 resolutions that we've taken today. These are all resolutions that are designed to focus on areas as diverse as food security, plant standards, product standardization, harmonization of fertilizer requirements, joint fertilizer buying, and of course the big one, foot and mouth disease. Agreement that we're going to now have a regional approach to foot and mouth disease, establishment of a regional vaccine bank.
A major focus of the summit was reducing dependence on imported agricultural inputs, particularly fertilizer, whose prices have surged globally in recent years. Zimbabwe says it is already advancing domestic fertilizer production strategies that could be expanded across the region.
In Zimbabwe, we are already discussing the localization of the fertilizer industry. And there is a cabinet committee that is focusing on that. And we've made very important progress in that regard. So this could be upscaled to the regional level. And there was some discussion around coordination of production through localization, but also coordination of procurement. You recall that Zimbabwe hosts the Africa Center for Fertilizer Development, and we, of course, want this to be recognized as the premier African institution that is responsible for soil health and fertilizer aspects.
The resolutions adopted in Victoria Falls also extend into the region's marine economy, with ministers approving measures to strengthen the SADC Fisheries Monitoring Center in Mozambique as part of efforts to combat illegal fishing and protect the region's aquatic resources. If these policies succeed, the meeting in Victoria Falls will be remembered as the moment Southern Africa stopped mourning about climate crisis and decisively adapted to survive it. Yolande Moyo, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
The government has acknowledged that the motor industry development policy that is aimed at revitalizing the industry's value chain is in urgent need for review, and this is given that the country is now a powerhouse in steel and lithium production.
The high-level stakeholders meeting was called upon to review the motor industry development policy running from the year 2018 to 2030. Newly appointed the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Ambassador Tidias Chifamba, said the meeting was necessary given that Zimbabwe is now a powerhouse in steel manufacturing as well as lithium production, which are the two subsectors essential in revitalizing the local motor industry.
In 2018, when the policy was promulgated, we were not strong in steel production, for instance. Now we have Dinson. There is no more need to import steel, for the manufacture of chassis, as well as even for most of the body parts.
This bus was ordered by a local school here in Zimbabwe and is now 65% local content. And AVM says if granted more support, the company can come back and dominate the local motor industry.
It's the first of its kind, and we are manufacturing buses that are like up to date with local trends. So we appreciate this support, and we want looking for more support from other schools and from government as well.
Africa Economic Development Strategies Executive Director Professor Gift Mugano says the motor industry value chain has the potential to generate tens of thousands of jobs if granted sufficient support.
We need an integrated, a full package of a motor vehicle industry, which carries the whole ecosystem of what makes up a motor vehicle industry, from the leather, from the tires, from the panel beaters, from the component manufacturers. That's what we need.
The moment we keep on allowing those grey imports coming in our country, we are creating employment elsewhere instead of us creating employment in this country.
With the country spending more than US $500 million on an annual basis on the importation of vehicles and motor spares, this represents an unhealthy position given our quest to plug the trade deficit. Hence, this policy review is essential in order to revitalize the country's motor industry. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe has taken a significant step towards strengthening its institutional governance frameworks through the National Evaluation Capacity Index.
The Office of the President and Cabinet this Friday hosted a National Evaluation Capacities Index validation workshop, marking a significant step in strengthening the country's evidence-based policy-making, monitoring and evaluation systems and data-driven governance systems.
The National Evaluation Capacity Index is nothing but tracking of performance at all levels of government programming. From planning, the way we plan as government, the index has a bearing. The way we implement as government, the index has a bearing. The way we gather data and create instruments for data collection, the manner we gather data and interface with communities, it has a bearing on this index.
Head of National Monitoring, Evaluation and Learning in the Office of the President and Cabinet, Ms. Fananai Madambi, and Head in the United Nations Resident Coordinator's Office, Mr. Ernest Matanga, concurred that there is need to establish robust internal oversight frameworks to ensure institutional accountability.
With these results, it means that Zimbabwe must urgently strengthen its domestic funding for evaluation, broaden the scope to include national policies, improve coordination across institutions, and ensure that evaluation findings are widely disseminated to inform decision making.
Zimbabwe's efforts are closely aligned with the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, in particular SDGs 16 and SDGs 17. SDG 16, which calls for effective, accountable, and transparent institutions, and SDG 17, which emphasizes partnerships, data, and shared accountability.
The National Evaluation Capacities Index builds on the National Evaluation Capacity.
The Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Service says culture remains a powerful tool in the rehabilitation of inmates, national identity, as well as social integration. This emerged during Culture Month celebrations that were held at Wawa Prison this Friday, where inmates, schools, as well as the correctional officers showcased Zimbabwe's rich heritage.
As the nation heads towards the tail end of the Culture Month, the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Service held commemorations this Friday at Wawa Prisons, where there were exhibitions of traditional foods, artifacts, as well as performances of traditional dances by schools, inmates, as well as the ZPCS.
Muitsvi nemisika nemigoti tozidzisa kugadzira timuno mumuso.
Vano tabviringwa nechirungu tanyanyira kudya maprocessed foods saka tati tigodzosa utano vanhu vazhinji vakuchema nenyaya yeutano maacids maulcers inyaya yekudya maprocessed foods.
Tenda mukuru wedu wenyika aita kuti tiyeuchidzwawo kuti kune zveculture yedu.
The ZPCS is going beyond a punitive model to rehabilitation and skills enhancement, while also focusing on restorative justice.
Our inmates are interacting with the chiefs, are interacting with the local community, are interacting with even the school children around here. So our Culture Day is very symbolic. Why? Because it also makes our inmates to know, to teach them to be productive and to be skilled.
By imparting Zimbabwe cultural values, our respect for elders, our hard work, our communal spirit, you are rebuilding lives. You are turning citizens into custodians of our heritage.
Midlands Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Oengbe, who toured the various exhibition stands, spoke on the importance of preserving the African culture.
The role of culture in the rehabilitation and reintegration of inmates cannot be overemphasized, as correctional institutions are not merely places of confinement, rather they are also centers of rehabilitation, transformation, and restoration. Culture plays a significant role in reforming behavior, rebuilding character, and restoring human dignity among offenders.
The National Culture Month commemorations held at Barberfield Stadium on the 21st of May saw President Emmerson Mnangagwa rallying Zimbabweans to harness and embrace Zimbabwe's rich cultural heritage, which is a cornerstone to Zimbabwe's national identity and development. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Gweru.
The people of Mwenezi in Masvingo province are confident the proposed changes under Constitutional Amendment No. 3 bill will expedite development in previously marginalized areas, highlighting milestones already achieved under the Second Republic in the area.
Previously marginalized communities in Mwenezi East area of Masvingo province now boast of better schools, healthcare facilities and access to clean, safe drinking water, thanks to the Second Republic's inclusive development approach. It is with this in mind that villagers in Mwenezi East are confident that giving public office bearers more time will ensure continuation of transformative development.
Chirongwa cheCAP3 chinotochisapota kuvanhu vakadai, vanhu vanofamba mutsoka dzemutungamiri wenyika.
Akesa zvinoenda kunani ikwaso zvitapfuka zvingaetera zvitapfuka zvingatsamatsi zvikasvika sviyima ikwaso ndinoona ngo zvinatsamuseka.
Area legislator Honorable Sheila Chikomo emphasized that government is determined to ensure no one is left behind in the developmental trajectory.
Kune nyaya development kunoku out of 176 schools 132 are satellites, which means there's still work for us to do. Saka ndauya kuzobatsiridzana nevabereki kuti ndiise mvura, takwanisa kuisa mvura pavezhi
takwanisa kuisa mvura pamatenga. Chisume pane bloko rakasaririra. Pano pachagomoka takwanisa futi kuisa mvura. Takwanisa kuti tidzidzise vabereki vave nekunzwisisa ramangwana ravo rinojeka sei kuburikidza nedevelopment dzavanenge vachikwanisa kubatsirikana nadzo kubudikidza nehurumende yapresident vedu Baba Mnangagwa.
The Constitutional Amendment Number 3 bill has drawn widespread support from various groups, with legislators set to debate the bill once it is tabled in Parliament. The bill seeks to, among other things, extend the presidential and parliamentary election cycles from 5 to 7 years and introduce a parliamentary process for the election of the president. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Mwenezi.
Now be sure to log on to our website, that's www.zbc.co.zw. Now that's for these stories and more. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on YouTube, on Facebook, as well as on X, and our handle is at ZBC News Online.
And now still to expect in the bulletin, Lady Chevrons to host South Africa in Landmark T20I series in September. Main News takes a break. We will be back.
We've always known what it takes to grow. But this is what it feels like to finally step inside the dream. It's that quiet moment when a room holds everything it used to be and everything it made possible. That this is actually mine feeling when the first payment hits. That pure adrenaline from a small space to an empire you grew. And when you said you'd almost sleep in your first car, we made sure you actually did. Plans may adapt, circumstances will evolve, but your growth, that's non-negotiable. Bank on growth with Stanbic Bank Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is our home, and we drive her growth.
Stanbic Bank is a registered commercial bank and a member of the Deposit Protection Scheme.
From 11 June to 19 July, everything can wait. The FIFA World Cup 2026. Catch all 104 matches from as little as $10. Live on SuperSport, only on DSTV.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We continue with the main news bulletin. China and Zimbabwe have reaffirmed their strong bilateral relations through educational and cultural cooperation. And this was during the International Children's Day, as well as the Day of the African Child celebrations that were hosted by the Chinese Embassy in Harare.
The gathering was meant to honor children while strengthening the long-standing friendship between the two nations. It also sought to encourage young Zimbabweans to become future builders of the country and ambassadors of China-Zimbabwe relations.
I've been here for about a month, and I am already very into Shona and other cultures relating to Zimbabwe, and I think respecting both cultures and learning about these cultures is very fun and very interesting.
It is an honor to be here, and as Minimus Global Zimbabwe, I am honored to have this title. I came here to showcase my talents.
In recent years, the two countries have strengthened people-to-people relations through scholarships, vocational training programs, academic partnerships, and cultural initiatives aimed at empowering young people and promoting mutual understanding.
The cultural exchange, the cultural experiences, and the history that Zimbabwe and China do have. Our children have experienced quite a whole lot of things today. and also linking it to the heritage best, where we are focusing on our culture, on our ethics, on who we are.
These indeed are three cherished occasions for us to honor the rights, joy, strength, and resilience of children across the world, including Zimbabwe. Our educational and cultural exchanges have also flourished. Events like today's celebration have brought our peoples closer and cemented the solid foundation of our enduring friendship.
The historical ties between the two countries date back to Zimbabwe's liberation struggle, and the Asian country has continued supporting Zimbabwe through infrastructure development, education, technology transfer. Louis Nika, ZBC News, Harare.
Outgoing Chinhoyi University of Technology Vice-Chancellor Professor David Simbi has been conferred with the Emeritus Vice-Chancellor status during a retirement farewell ceremony held at the institution this Friday.
The Chinhoyi University of Technology bade farewell to one of its founding fathers, Professor David Jambra Simbi, who is retiring after serving the institution for more than 2 decades. Now a farewell ceremony held at the institution was attended by senior government officials, the business community, the academia, students and ordinary Chinhoyi residents who are thanking the professor for transforming Chinhoyi University of Technology. During this ceremony, he was conferred with the Emeritus Vice-Chancellor status, which also saw the launch of the DJ Simbi Research Graduate Fellowship Program.
What are you using your knowledge for if you are not creating jobs? That is my appeal, is I accept this honor.
Colleagues who gave speeches thanked Emeritus Vice-Chancellor Professor Simbi for his impact in the academia, particularly the timely implementation of government policies which has seen Chinhoyi University of Technology transforming.
Under his leadership, Chinhoyi University of Technology has experienced significant institutional growth, notable infrastructural expansion, strengthened academic programs, and enhanced national and international recognition.
Please borrow a leaf from Professor Simbi in terms of A, his leadership, and B, his role as a Vice-Chancellor.
Thank you on behalf of Vice-Chancellors for enacting this particular ordinance of Vice-Chancellor Emeritus.
Senior government officials implored the university to carry forward the legacy of Emeritus Vice-Chancellor Professor Simbi.
Under his leadership, we witness a number of things. One of them is the expansion of academic programs aligned with the national priority sectors. The other is the construction of new laboratories, lecture theatres, student residential facilities, and also a measurable increase in research output and postgraduate enrollment.
His legacy will continue to inspire future generations of scholars, leaders, and innovators who will carry forward the torch of progress that he has led.
Professor Simbi leaves behind him a transformed Chinhoyi University of Technology marked by several infrastructure developments which include the establishment of innovation hubs, the construction of these beautiful administration blocks, and various economic ventures which are being run at the school. Chamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Chinhoyi.
Now, the government and its development partners believe that continuous funding of the education sector will unlock young people's potential in contributing to the national economic development. And our reporter, Hlomeli Ncube, gives us the details.
Now, government has reiterated its commitment towards improving the welfare of families and children through inclusive socio-economic development programs. This emerged this Friday at the 2026 national launch of the International Day of Families, Lupane District, Matabeleland North Province.
After 18 weeks of rigorous training and learning, we're finally here. Nothing short of perfection is accepted here. Every flex, every step, and every gesture demonstrates a well-drilled group. This is a group of junior officers and non-commissioned officers drawn from the Zimbabwe National Army, the Air Force of Zimbabwe, and the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Service that are graduating in various instructional courses here at the Zimbabwe School of Infantry. The pass-out marks another milestone in the Zimbabwe School of Infantry's commitment to military excellence.
Allow me to acknowledge and appreciate the community leadership and members of the local community at large for their continued support by allowing us to conduct most of our field training exercises on their land.
Let me warn you to desist from any forms of indiscipline, including the abuse of drugs, which is a scourge nowadays. For it tarnishes the image of our organizations. Such activities or conduct will not be tolerated, and those found on the wrong side of the law will always be dealt with severely and, of course, without hesitation. I therefore challenge you to go back to your units with your heads held high and discharge your duties and responsibilities with pride and honorably.
373 students drawn from the Zimbabwe National Army, the Air Force of Zimbabwe, and the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Service graduated in various instructional courses. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Balabala.
Now, that was in fact a story where a call has been made for members of the security sector to play a key role in the fight against drug and substance abuse as the nation continues to make strides towards ending the scourge. Now, this came out at the graduation of more than 300 junior officers and non-commissioned officers at the Zimbabwe School of Infantry in Balabala, Matabeleland South Province this Friday, and we just saw clips from that graduation.
Now, the government has commended midwives for their role in strengthening maternal health service provision. This comes as Zimbabwe joined the rest of the world in celebrating the International Day of Midwives, with the main event being staged at the United Bulawayo Hospitals.
The commemorations held under the theme 1 million more midwives saw government officials and partners calling for increased investment in midwifery services while recognizing outstanding health workers from across the country.
Midwives are specialized health professionals who have dedicated their lives to ensuring that women, children, their families and communities are supported throughout their journey of pregnancy.
I'm incredibly proud to see that the vital partnership that we began with the Embassy of Sweden under his leadership, alongside the Ministry of Health and Child Care and the Zimbabwe Confederation of Midwives, is moving forward. May this collaboration grow even stronger as we strive to improve the lives of women and girls in Zimbabwe.
Today's commemoration gives us an opportunity not only to celebrate midwives, but also to reflect on the critical role they play in strengthening health systems and improving health care for women and newborns.
The Deputy Minister of Health and Child Care, Honorable Sliman Timios Ekwidini, said midwives remain at the center of Zimbabwe's maternal health.
Today we gather not just to celebrate a profession, but to honor the very heartbeat of our healthcare system. Midwives are the guardians of new beginnings. We are the steady hands, the comforting voices, and the life-saving experts who ensure pregnancy and childbirth remain journeys of joy, dignity, and safety. The global theme of this year is 1 million more midwives. Is not just a slogan but a call to action.
Best midwives from Zimbabwe's 10 provinces were rewarded for excellence in service delivery, mentorship, technical competency, and improving maternal health care.
Ndoda kunyanya kutenda Mwari zvakanyanya nechipo chandagamuchidzwa muzuva ranhasi nokuti tinoimba kuti basa ratikuita ibasa rekudaidzwa ende takabvuma kudaidzwa.
It is a great honor to receive this award and to be recognized. I thank all the entire team because you can't be an outstanding midwife without the other team. It can only be a team effort.
I'm so happy because it shows that my work has been noticed, and maybe it means that God has also seen that I'm doing great to the community.
I feel so honored today to be here receiving this award, something that I was not expecting.
Health authorities say the recognition of outstanding midwives is expected to motivate more health workers to continue providing quality maternal and child health services across the country.
Government has reiterated its commitment towards improving the welfare of families and children through inclusive socio-economic development programs. This emerged this Friday at the 2026 national launch of the International Day of Families, Lupane District, Matabeleland North Province.
The International Day of Families was proclaimed by the United Nations in 1993 and has been commemorated annually on the 15th of May since 1994. The observance of this day highlights the importance attached by the global community to issues affecting families. It is against this background that government says it continues to intensify programs aimed at empowering communities and improving household livelihoods across the country.
It's just not about traveling, coming all this far. It's about looking at what you're doing and how you can be helped. Because for you to scale up the production in whatever you're doing, you need support. You need support in many ways. Without access to finance, it's very difficult to scale up production.
Matabeleland North Province hosted this year's national event with the traditional leaders calling for intensified efforts to keep children, particularly the girl child, in school.
Your presence here today is a clear demonstration of our shared commitment to strengthening family systems, promoting social cohesion and advancing inclusive national development.
Sikhuthaza abazali ukuthi bahambise abantwana ezikolo njengoba nje sisilapha eLupane ku-province yethu abantwana abaningi abadropa out ezikolo sibakhuthaza kakhulu ukugcina abantwana ikakhulu amankazana.
Meanwhile, the Matabeleland North Provincial Business Expo was held on the sidelines of the 2026 national commemoration of the International Day of Families at Lupane Center. The expo sought to showcase the critical role played by small businesses and entrepreneurs in supporting families and driving economic growth. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Lupane.
And that story takes us off to a break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Destination Hungary.
Europe's greatest stage awaits.
It's a game that really does underline the word champions. Meridian perfection.
Two giants remain as the eyes of the world turn to Budapest.
Oh, incredible!
Don't miss a moment with club football's biggest prize on the line.
Oh, wow! Have you ever seen football on this level?
Catch all the action on DSTV Access, only on SuperSport on DSTV.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We now take a look at the arts. From film premieres and traditional dance to live music concerts, as well as cultural showcases, Zimbabwe's entertainment scene is set up for a vibrant weekend with a variety of events lined up across the country.
Among the major highlights this weekend is the much-awaited premiere of Becoming Madam Boss, a ZBC production inspired by the journey of social media personality and comedian Madam Boss. The film premieres this Saturday at Westgate Cinema in Harare and is expected to draw film enthusiasts and local celebrities alike.
Dube to the rescue.
I would like to introduce to you Chadisai Chukuchu. Madam Boss.
Meanwhile, culture also takes center stage in Mashonaland East, where the Chibukune Shamwari Traditional Dance Festival provincial finals are set for camp and caravan in Murewa. Traditional dance groups from across the province are expected to battle it out for a place at the national finals. Music lovers are also in for an exciting weekend as Sungura maestro Alec Macheso headlines a gala in Shishamiso Stadium in Hippo Valley, with fans anticipating a night of classic hits and live entertainment. Back in Harare, the Europe Month closing concert promises a fusion of cultures and sounds. The concert will feature renowned Mbira player Jacob Mafuleni and guitarist Trust Samende, alongside performances celebrating 90s R&B and urban grooves music.
Well, certainly an exciting weekend lined up. Main News takes a break. We will be back with sport.
The Commissioner General, Dr. Moses Sirungoite Chihopu, Deputy Commissioner Generals, senior officers, and all members of the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Service join the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, His Excellency, Colonel Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa and the Chuma family in mourning the passing of national hero, Brigadier General Retired Donald Silindu Chuma. We learned with deep sorrow of the passing of Brigadier General Retired Chuma, affectionately known by his Liberation War name, Henry Silundi, a gallant son of the soil and an unwavering patriot. Driven by the injustice of colonial oppression, he joined the ZAPU Youth League as a prominent activist before crossing into Zambia in 1976 to join the armed liberation struggle under ZIPRA. His resilience during training at Mwembeshi Camp, his operational deployments along the Zambezi River on the Northern Front, and his advanced leadership training as a platoon commander in the Soviet Union were instrumental in securing our hard-won independence. In post-independent Zimbabwe, Brigadier General Retired Chuma remained a loyal and dedicated servant of the motherland, transitioning his revolutionary discipline into decades of distinguished military service within Zimbabwe National Army, rising steadily through the ranks from captain in 1981 to Brigadier General upon his retirement. His career was marked by principled leadership and professional excellence. His exceptional contributions to the security and sovereignty of the nation earned him numerous prestigious honors, including the Liberation Medal, Long and Exemplary Service Medal, and the Commander of the Zimbabwe Order of Merit, embodying the highest standards of national service. The ZPCS family salutes the immense sacrifice, discipline, and lifelong loyalty of this decorated military officer. We find renewed purpose in his example and reaffirm our commitment to upholding the values he championed by continuing to safeguard the gains of our independence through our constitutional mandate of incarceration, rehabilitation, and reintegration. To the Chuma family, we extend our deepest condolences and pray for your strength during this difficult time. We bid farewell to this distinguished patriot in honor of a life lived in total service to Zimbabwe. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Zorai Murugare Gambari Magamba, Lala Motolo Kawela Makawe, rest in eternal peace, hero of heroes. ZPCS for incarceration, rehabilitation, and reintegration of offenders into society.
Welcome back to the main news. We'll now take a look at sport. Now, the new look Zimbabwe women cricket team, the Lady Chevrons, will get further game time against a top-level opposition when they host South Africa in a historic 5-match T20 international series at Queen Sports Club in Bulawayo this September.
Cricket has confirmed that Zimbabwe women will host South Africa for a 5-match T20 international series at Queen Sports Club in Bulawayo from the 11th to the 19th of September. The matches will mark the first ever visit for Zimbabwe by the senior South African women's team, making it a landmark occasion for women's cricket in the region. The series comes at a crucial stage in Zimbabwe's women rebuilding process following their disappointing campaign at the ICC Women's T20 World Cup Global Qualifier in Nepal earlier this year. Zimbabwe women last played a home series in September last year against the United Arab Emirates before embarking on an overseas assignment, including tours to New Zealand and Pakistan. South Africa ranks as one of the strongest teams in women's game, currently ranked 5th in the ICC Women's T20 rankings, and the Proteas have finished runners-up at the last two ICC Women's T20 World Cup. While Zimbabwe women have previously faced the South Africa women's emerging side on several occasions, the two senior teams have only met twice before. Lawrence Trosida, ZBC News.
Now, former Premier Soccer League champions FC Platinum will be banking on home turf when they host Inform Herentals in a Castle Lager Premier Soccer League encounter at Mandava Stadium on Sunday.
FC Platinum are blowing hot and cold this season, a sign the team is yet to click under Joe Lupasha. This week, Pure Platinum play return home for an exciting encounter with the Rentals. The students are oozing with confidence after a convincing 4-1 triumph over former champion Simba Bora. The Rentals will be banking on the exploits of Captain Ralph Kawandera, who has rediscovered the form that made him a household name. FC Platinum are coming from a 0-0 stalemate with log leaders Cape United, but will be eager to continue the rich vein of form at home. The match promises intrigue as the two sides are separated by 5 points. Match day 15 action will however begin on Saturday with Dynamos hosting unbeaten against the Platinum Stars at Rufaro Stadium, while Moss play Hard Rocket Ngoni. On Sunday, Highlanders will be hoping to collect maximum points in a home encounter against New Boys FC Hunters at Babafield Stadium. ZPC Kariba entertain a wounded Chicken Inn at Nyamonga is still 1 square off with debutants Agama at Ascot. Simba Bora faced Triangle United at Wadzanai as defending champion Scotland collide with log leaders Cape United at the National Sports Stadium. The fixture between Bulawayo Chiefs and Manica Diamonds set for Babafield Stadium on Monday concludes match day 15 fixtures. Mchogozi Stuve, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
That report from Thokozisi wraps up sport. It's now time to take a look at the weather report.
Good evening, Zimbabwe, and welcome to tonight's weather report and forecast. I hope I find you well. We had a cold start over much of the country today, with areas such as Matopos recording 0 degrees Celsius, whilst Nyanga had 1 and Chief we had also 1 degree Celsius in terms of the ground mean, whilst Makaholi had 2 degrees Celsius. There's all recorded slight ground frost in these areas. But looking at most areas across the country, we had those clear skies by afternoon with just brief cloudy periods over the northeastern parts of the country covering the Zambezi Valley. And however, our system to watch is going to come in from the southeast. We were expecting that field of cooling winds to drive in a bit of moisture as we get into Sunday. But for tonight, we're expecting more of those single digits across much of the interior of the country, with milder conditions in the Zambezi Valley areas such as Kariba. By afternoon, those northern parts should be warm, but the interior should be cooler than of late. We were expecting the southeasterlies to cool off much of the southern parts of the country. Thus, for areas such as Bulawayo, we're expecting maximums to fall for the first half of the week, only increasing as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We were expecting the maximums to warm up slightly, but the morning temperatures still rather cold at first. becoming warmer by afternoon for much of the week. And for Matopo, we're expecting a bit of frost in the morning for tomorrow and for much of this week. And the temperatures warm up as we get into Tuesday next week as well. For Kwanda, we're expecting it to be cold at first, becoming warmer with a maximum of 23 tomorrow, almost maintaining that 23 up to Tuesday. We're expecting it to get warmer by afternoon as we get into the upper 20s. Same for Gweru, we're expecting above 25 from Tuesday onwards, but for the first few days below 23 for much of the period. And morning temperatures also in the cold category. We're expecting a bit of frost over Gweru area. Masvingo also cold in the morning, but it warms up by afternoon, especially towards the end of the week. Same for Mutare, below 25 for the first few days, only rising as we get into Tuesday next week. Nyanga also following suit with mostly 20s for much of this week. Very cold in the morning, becoming warmer as we get into the later parts of this week. Marandura also being affected by those southeasterly winds, cooling down much of the atmosphere for the first few days. Only warms up as we get into Wednesday. Chances of frost also in Harare, where we're expecting the minimums to be around the 10 degrees Celsius range by morning, but it warms up to about 24 by afternoon. Kadoma upper 20s by afternoon, but also the morning rather chilly as well at first, with maximum also increasing towards the end of the week. Chinoi 27s for much of this week, only rising to about 29 by afternoon as we get into Friday. And for Victoria Falls, mostly 28s for much of this week, only rising to above 30 as we get into Wednesday. And for Lupane, we're expecting the rise to the 30s to start off on Thursday onwards. But for the morning, a bit of frost projected in the first few days. Bindura also very cold in the morning, but it warms up by afternoon to about 25 degrees, only rising to about 27 as we get towards the end of the week. 30 is also projected for Kariba towards the end of the week, but the mornings are rather mild. And with that, we urge you to keep warm, especially in the mornings and towards evening. That's it from the weather desk. It's back to the news.
Well, many thanks to the Met Department for the weather report, and that puts a cap on the main news from the news desk and the crew behind the scenes. Good night.
Good night.